I'm just continuing my series of videos on finding a room, the things to look out for finding a room when you're in Bangkok. Now this advice might apply to anywhere in the world, but I happen to be in Bangkok, Thailand here, and this concerns orientation. We're going to look at the whiteboard and just go through a few quick points. Now Thailand is a hot country, so I think you pretty much want to avoid the sun, you want shade, you don't want that sun beating onto your windows on your room, because obviously you're going to be hotter. So number two, you want to know where is the sun in relation to your windows on your room. Now to cut a long story short, to keep this video as short as possible, the crux is number three, you want to face north or south, or thereabouts within a fairly small angle. My windows here, for example, face north, but it's actually 15 degrees west, a bearing of 345 degrees, which seems to be okay. The sun sets in the west, so I don't get that sun coming into my room. The more to the west or more to the east you face, you run the risk of getting the sun coming into your room. Okay, if I was forced to choose between north or south, I would pick north for a few reasons. Firstly, my room here faces north, so I know what's going on. I haven't had a room facing south. South should be okay, but I haven't experienced that. Second one is, the sun is going to be to your north for a shorter time period during the year, because in the tropics the sun can be either to your north or south. I'll get to that a bit more in a second. And also the sun might be at a bit of a lower angle in the south, which is the cool season. It still should be okay, but the sun's at a bit of a lower angle. It is a cooler season, so it's a bit cooler. It still can be hot, but it's just a bit cooler. So there are a few reasons I would pick north, but north or south should be okay. So I mentioned that the sun can be either to your north or south. Just on that, if you look at this bit of paper here, they're the dates for major locations in Thailand where the sun is going to be to your north. Between those dates, in Chiang Rai in the far north, 20 degrees north latitude between May the 21st and July the 21st. They're all approximate dates. Okay, it's very hard to work out these dates, they're just approximate. Chiang Mai, 18.7 degrees north latitude, May the 14th to July the 27th. Bangkok, 13.5 degrees north latitude, April the 28th to August the 16th. Hua Hin, 12.5 degrees north latitude, April 21st to August 21st. And Phuket, 8 degrees north, April 12th to August 27th. Approximate dates, the sun is to your north. Outside those dates, the sun is to your south. Okay, if you don't understand how the sun moves around, that may seem complicated, but once you understand how the sun moves around the earth, that is easy. Now I do have a more detailed article on my camping Facebook page about that, about the sun and how it moves around. I'll embed the link to that article in the description to this video. You're welcome to check it out to get some more detail about that. Okay, but it's very easy to work out, so that may come in useful if you're staying here for a few months, for example, and you just know that the sun is going to be to your north or south. Then you know where the sun's going to be. If you face south but the sun's to your north between approximately April, May, June, then you know the sun's going to be to your north, so that may come in handy. Okay, so let's move on. Basically, you do not want to face east or west, because the sun's going to be coming up and coming down to the horizon unless you have shade. There's pretty much three types of shade you can have. If, for example, you live in the built-up area of Bangkok where you've got tall buildings, high-rise buildings next door or perhaps across the street even, and you know the sun's going to be shaded anyway, there might be a whole load of thick vegetation, trees and so forth. Or you might have good external shade devices, patios, awnings, or things you can pull down that's going to block the sun. It has to be external. You can't have blinds inside your windows, because the sun's still going to hit your window and you're still going to get hot. So unless you have the shade, you want to avoid east or west. If I was forced to choose between east or west, I would take east because it's a bit cooler in the mornings. So number 5, what do? You can have a compass. When you go into a room, you can just check which direction the windows face. If they face north or south or thereabouts, you're okay. If they face east or west, you then want to look out the window and see, well, there's a tall building there, there's plenty of trees and vegetation, or I've got, a thing I can put down to shade my window, then that might be okay. But if it's all open sky and you've got no shade there and the sun's going to come beating into your window, you don't want that. Okay, so just to summarise, face north or south, I would choose north, but south should be okay. You don't want to face east or west unless you've got plenty of shade to block the sun. As one final bonus point, the prevailing breeze or wind in Bangkok seems to be from the south or maybe the southwest direction. In the wet season, when the storms and rains are coming in, that might be nice because the breeze is quite often a nice refreshing breeze coming in. But be wary, in the hot season, that breeze may turn into a hot, dry breeze, a hot wind, so be careful about that. But in the wet season, it might be a nice breeze, pick it up on the south. I don't get the breeze because, as I said before, my windows face north. I don't get a breeze coming in, so that might be another thing to look out for. So there it is, finding a room, orientation. I hope that makes sense, and I'll see you next time.